Hello, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 Live Talk Women's Roundtable. We are coming to you live from the Voice of America in Washington. I'm your host, Sithandegile Mhlanga. Tonight, we are discussing the expulsion of Citizens Coalition for Change members from Parliament, Senate, and councils by the self-proclaimed Interim Secretary General of the CCC, Sengezo Chabang, with the latest 69 more councillors recalled. The CCC says the recalls are illegal as the matter questioning Chabang's legitimacy to carry out the recalls is still pending in court. But first, the Biden administration officials warned U.S. lawmakers Wednesday that a failure to pass the White House request for $61.4 billion in aid to Ukraine could result in a victory for Russia President Vladimir Putin within a week. Some Republican lawmakers have objected to additional funding for Ukraine while the U.S. national debt remains high. VOA's congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson has more.
U.S. aid to Ukraine is running out. As U.S. lawmakers run short of time to negotiate President Joe Biden's $106 billion emergency national security supplemental request.
This investment in Ukraine goes far beyond its borders. By degrading Russia's military capabilities, we are also degrading the capabilities of those who Russia works with, like Iran, Hamas, and Hezbollah. We see these actors in concert, not in isolation.
Lawmakers are racing to negotiate aid to Ukraine and Israel and funding to border security before November 17th, when a temporary government funding bill runs out. Democrats and some Republicans are arguing that all of those funding priorities should be passed together.
We should continue to invest in expanding America's defense industrial base, both to replace capabilities Ukraine is using with newer or our own use, and to ramp up production of the ones Israel, Taiwan, and our Indo-Pacific allies and partners need.
But some congressional Republicans are concerned the U.S. is funding a stalemate in Ukraine's fight against Russia, when the money could be better used domestically.
But we're borrowing the money. It doesn't make any sense. It's coming from somewhere where it would be in a productive use to where it's into the use of basically fomenting a war and continuing a war.
The Biden administration told lawmakers Wednesday the consequences of failing to fund Ukraine's fight against Russian aggression could be immediate.
President Putin says if we walk away, Ukraine falls in a week.
And with winter in Ukraine looming, U.S. aid officials warned that there is now no remaining funding to support Ukraine's war needs.
If Congress does not approve supplemental funding, our partner organizations in Ukraine would have to either reduce the number of people getting this humanitarian assistance by up to 75% or suspend our humanitarian programs entirely.
Senate Democrats addressed some Republicans' concerns that European nations are not shouldering the burden of supporting Ukraine.
There is a global coalition of 50 countries providing more than $90 billion in direct support, both humanitarian, direct budget support, military for Ukraine, although we are the single largest donor. The contributions to the fight for freedom on the front lines in Ukraine is genuinely global.
Biden administration officials told lawmakers that European countries are watching to see if the United States passes additional aid. The officials said some countries may withdraw their support for Ukraine if the White House request does not pass Congress. Catherine Gibson, VOA News.
And participants at the US-Zimbabwe Exchange Alumni Summit in Harare today called for a better environment that supports their businesses. A public diplomacy officer with the US Embassy in Zimbabwe, Becca Achaknepa, gives a roundup of what happened today.
We organized this two-day alumni summit, the first one we've ever had in Zimbabwe, to get the alumni together. We know that there are a lot of alumni doing incredible things all over Zimbabwe, and we wanted them to work with each other. We, as the embassy, can be a convening power, and so we thought we want Zimbabweans to work together for Zimbabwean solutions. All of the panelists at the summit are alumni. All of the topics were suggested by the alumni. So this is a summit being done for the alumni by the alumni. Everything is based on what they want, so they can build their networks, so they can get ideas and make a difference in their communities. I'm really grateful for all of the alumni who have turned up. We are looking forward to the rest of the summit and the Alumni Impact Awards later today. Wishing all of our alumni all the best, and we look forward to doing this again in future years. Beyond just the summit and sessions, we also have a bunch of our alumni presenting. They have booths outside so they can present their businesses and start working together.
That was Becca Achanekpa, Public Diplomacy Officer with the U.S. Embassy in Zimbabwe. The Alumni Summit, which ended today, brought more than 300 people who participated in different U.S. State Department's programs aimed at empowering nations in the developing world. Matlansi Ndlovu is one of the alumnis.
Hi, Salwanani, Ibizalami Matlansi Ndlovu from e-Hustlers Summit. Ko Bulawayo going to say tuna. So e-Hustlers Summit Tina sinceda amabhizimusi ukuthi babuye bonke bahlangane sibancedise ngemarketing yabo ukuze bakhule njengama-businesses. So e-Hustlers Summit iba khona every year ngoMarch. Yeah, bathaba sibili ngoba sesilabantu abaningi abakhangelela kithi basebenzisa thina ukuthi bathole amanye ama-opportunities lama networks kithi. So siyathaba sibili ukuthi we are that platform encedisa abantu ukuthi baye lapha bafuna ukuya khona. So lathi siyathaba, we are thankful for their support. Lathi siyabasupporta njengamabhizimusi ngoba yikho silapho. Because hayi kunzima, siyavuma sonke siyavuma ukuthi hayi kunzima, kodwa hayi siyancenga ukuthi sibone ukuthi lathi siyenza okuncane lathi sincedise lapho esikwanisa khona. Singabe singekho lapho esingakwanisa ukuthi sincedise ngakho konke, but lapho esikwanisa khona ukunceda hayi siyanceda. So sesizwile izikhalazo abantu abalazo, especially abatsha nalabo abaqala amabhizimusi abo, ngoba bathi labo bafuna ukuba represented ukuthi bakwane lathi ukuthi sibancedise njani. Kodwa hayi sesibazwile, and there is something coming ukuthi ibancede lapho. So yeah.
That was Matlansi Ndlovu, a beneficiary of the U.S. program, which she says has enhanced her business skills. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depend on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
For those that have just joined our show, please note that we are streaming the discussion live on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We are also live on YouTube, VOA Zimbabwe. You can also find us on our website at www.voandebele.com, www.voashona.com, and www.voazimbabwe.com. Send us your messages right now or call on our social media platforms. Today we are discussing the expulsion of Citizens Coalition for Change members from Parliament, Senate and councils by Sengezo Chabangu, who says he is the Secretary General of the party. However, the party's deputy spokesman, Gift Siziba, today reiterated to Studio 7 that the recalls are illegal.
Tabasa isu tapanyika update in relation to matsamba maona chitendera pa social media kuti munhu anonzi Chabangu arikola 69 makanselas. So tauza ruzhinji rweZimbabwe kuti vanhu musavhunduka nekuti CCC yakaenda muHigh Court muna October ichinosungisa Chabangu kuti Chabangu haasi Secretary General webato reCCC. High Court case iyo iri kupinda mazuva ari kuuya and tichapitanyika nekuti iyo High Court iri kuita define kuti vanhu veCCC ndevapi and why munhu anonzi Sengezo achibuda achitaura kuti ndiri mutungamiri ndiri Secretary General weCCC. Tataura zve muHigh Court kuti isu hatimuzivi, hatina position inonzi CCC. Uye taudza vanhu kuti hapana maricall anofana kueffectwa neparliament kana nelocal government nekuti isu sebato hatina munhu watakarecola, saka havagoni kuacta on any recall. Ndo chinhu chekutanga. Chechipiri nekuti nyaya yava mumatare, saka muruzhinji rweZimbabwe musatore matsamba kana correspondence inobva kune munhu anonzi Sengezo Chabangu nekuti haasi nhengo yeCCC. CCC inotungamirana vachamisa inayo leadership yayo and tinoiziva and taendesa mumatare eHigh Court kuti vanhu vazive kuti zvinhu zvedu zvakamira sei so that we protect our movement from such impositors. Nyaya yakaita is a fraud. Ndosaka taita urge mapurisa to investigate the issue because takaita report nyaya yefraud yekubiwa kunoitwa logo redu nematsamba edu achishandiswa munhu achitaura kuti anomirira CCC.
That was CCC Interim Deputy Spokesman Gift Siziva speaking earlier today in Harare. To discuss our topic in depth, we welcome our guest, Sitabile Mlilo, who was recalled from her seat as the proportional representative for Bulawayo Province under the Women's Quota in Parliament. She is also the National Women's Task Force member of the CCC. We also have Kalipani Pukeni, spokesman for Sengezo Chabangu. And we'll start with you, Ms. Sitabile Mlilo. We saw that you led the filing of the recalled legislators' papers for your party and successfully managed to get their papers in. What can you say about these recalls, seeing that they are intensifying? Yes, over to you, Ms. Mlilo.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you can go
thank
ahead.
You very much. Okay, thank you very much. Today I just saw some few things on social media, so I'm not really sure if those actually affected the records that I saw on social media, but it's quite saddening, surely, because if you look at the numbers, it's mostly women who are affected, so it's quite saddening.
Yes, why are you saying it's the women who are mostly affected?
No, I was just looking at the list, and then on the list you can see that there are a lot of women who are actually affected by this because, most of them, they are the ones who are on PR, on the women quota, who are mostly affected, and this is why I'm saying that if it's true, whether I only say it on social media, then it's really saddening.
Yes, and do you feel that there is a certain trend? Why do you that most were recalled from the proportional representation?
Well, from proportional representation, I think it's quite easy because when you remove someone from proportional representation, you just replace them with someone else. Unlike going back maybe to a constituency and going back to actually go on the ground, start looking for support again and going to a real election, I think it's really tiresome, and you have to have people on the ground to do all that work for you. So proportional representation mostly is easy. It's just a matter of you taking someone and replacing them with that person.
Okay, thank you for your perspective. Do stay on the line, and we go to you, Mr. Pukeni. You heard Mr. Gift Siziba, the interim spokesperson for the CCC, saying these recalls are not legal. What do you have to say about that?
Good evening, my sister. Good evening to the listeners at home, and good evening to Honorable President Zilo. I think I have said this over and over again. I'm here so that Chalang's voice or side of the story can be heard. So the things which I'm speaking here are not my things, it's not decisions that I'm part of. My job is to amplify his voice. You know it's difficult for you guys to get hold of him, so I can get hold of him on your behalf. So this is the instruction I got today, is that after he went to court, when he was challenged, called imposter, called drunkard, called self-appointed, he went to court, and those recalls were challenged, and his ability to make them, and he prevailed. And so he says the Studio 7 insists on calling him self-imposed or self-appointed and all those things. He is not interested in me representing him in a platform that has demonstrated such contempt, such bias, and such a judgment against him, notwithstanding that the Court of Law could not make such a finding.
Yes, we hear your concern that we say he calls himself the Secretary General, but since there's a court case pending, maybe we should wait for that one to see what exactly is supposed to be, because we do not take sides here to say so and so is that, so and so is that. We'll wait for the final. But moving forward, what is your response to what Ms. Tabile Mlilo has said and to what Mr. Gift Siziba said?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, my sister, that I am under strict instruction that as long as Studio 7 is introducing him as a self-appointed interim SG, he is, after that court judgment, which came this Saturday, he is not interested in being denigrated and disrespected in that manner. He could understand before the court had the chance to look into these matters. But after the court looked at it, and it did not find him as self-appointed, it did not find him as fake, it did not find him as an imposter, it instead dismissed the case. So he says it's untenable that he participates in a platform which clearly is against him, which clearly is meant to denigrate him, which clearly is meant to discredit him.
Right. Let's move on with that. The court recognized him as the Secretary General, although the CCC has filed a case against him to oppose that. Right. As the Secretary General, what powers does he have to do that? And who gave him the powers?
Okay. Okay. Maybe the long and short of it is that he's just asking to be respected in the manner that others are respected. When others come, they are not called self-appointed or all those things. That's all he's asking for now, until a competent court of law finds him otherwise. That presumption of innocence is due to him. I think he has said on several platforms that he is addressing the anti-democratic practices that manifested themselves leading up to the watershed 23rd August 2023 election. And he went further to say, this is now on Sunday, when he was speaking to one of your journalists, Ezra Chisa-Sibanda, when a question was posed to him, that are you going to make further recalls now that the court proceedings are over? He said, yes, indeed, I'll do that, and I'll go throughout the country, and this issue that I'm addressing in Bulawayo and Matabeleland has manifested itself more pronounced throughout the country than it did in Matabeleland, so there will be need for him to act even more decisively. I have tried to reach out to him after I saw these purported recalls on social media. I have not been successful. I did reach out to Honorable Albert Mhlanga, who works in his office as the deputy. He was just calling me now as we were on air, and he was saying to me, the number looks big, and I said, but you can't say that to me. You are the one who needs to clarify these issues to me, because I'm already on Studio 7, they need answers. So I am not any wiser right now if those are really genuine recalls or it's just mischief in the social space. But I'm sure maybe when I'm off the show, I would have received an answer which may be too late for this show. But for now, I am not clear.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you to talk about the other recalls that has been effected. Yes, we understand our caller dropped. We had a caller, but whilst we wait for our caller who has questions, maybe for you, Ms. Mlilo, maybe for you, Mr. Pugeni. Ms. Mlilo, ungasichasisela ngolimi lwesiNdebele ukuthi uthini ngokuxotshwa kwamalunga edale lePhalamende amalunga enu lawe ungomunye wawo.
Ngithi khona yaphonguba yinto eyasimangalisa sonke ukuthi khona siyaphonga izivuka nje ekuseni sekuthiwa khona selixoshwa ngumuntu ozithela nge-interim SG into emangalisayo kakhulu ukuthi kathi yena interim SG ubengathi elalong izinto nxa kade sithi ziyawonakala ubengathi elalong izinto ziyonakala because kumele ukuthi phela erase i-alarm njenge-interim SG batho yinto emangalisayo yona leyo kakhulu ukuthi khona umuntu yaphela uvuka nje esithi khona sekuxoshile siyakuthatha nje ukuthi khona asazi ukuthi yena uyabe ecabangane njengoba yena ezithi khona yena nge-interim SG Citizen Coalition for Change Party into esibili eyasimangalisa thina nathi sinje.
Yebo-ke kodwa nxa umzwile yena konke akukhulumileyo lina lokhe lisima njengebandla ukuthi vela limazi umnumzana Sengeze Tshabanga akumelanga yenze lokhu njalo ukuhamba njani.
Njengebandla likhulumile abadala abaningi sesile ukuthi khona u-interim SG ayikho kahle esebandleni leli because ebandleni leli lingakhangela lizabona ukuthi khona bekula abantu abathiwa khona ama-cluster leaders and then ama-cluster leaders kube lama-first state members and then kube lama-street champions. Laba yibo abantu esisebenze labo sihamba ekhethweni njengaleli lika-23 August 2023 into ukuthi khona kuyamangalisa ukuthi kathesi yikho lapho seyenza ngazathi sekule-SG but sisebenza konke lapha bekusebenza ama-cluster leaders bekusebenza ama-task members bekusebenza ama-street champions yibo abantu kade sisebenza labo elalong ngathesi njengebandla besikwazi ukuthi ayibandla lethu lihlale phansi ukuthi khona sibone ukuthi khona bengalungisa njani ukukhokheleni besikhangelela ukuthi khona njengoba sesihambile ekhethweni lolu saphuma ngathi ekhethweni lolu abantu bezahlala phansi belungise-ke lokho kwabefuna ukuthi kulungiswe kube kuhle kube right kho kade sikukhangelela ukuthi nxa usezimeni kwabutshwala lokho kade ekhala ngakho ubezamela ukuthi ebuye layo ingase kulungisiwe nxa yena esikhona ulilunga lethu ehlale phansi elungise lathi ukuthi hayi asingiseni sihambe so singahamba sithi ngiyabona ukuthi ibandla lethu lingaphumelela linjalo so sabe sikhangelela ukuthi nxa umuntu sithi khona wena uhamba labantu uhamba labo kumele ukuthi nxa kule lutho elibonakalayo ube lawe ube ngumuntu ezabunika umbono wakho omuhle ukuthi hayi sekeleni ukuthi sihambe lokhu siyenze lokhu lalokhu uzame ukuthi khona nayo ukuzilozele ukuthi vele sengibasumlilo ukuthi khona ukudingizeke akuyenzi ukuthi ubathi umuzi wonke umlilo ukudingizeke akuyenzi khonokho.
Yebo-ke siyabonga uhlale khonapho ecingweni sizaphenduka njalo kuwe. Silo umlaleli ecingweni siyakwamukela kuhlelo.
Salbanani mama ninjani?
Yebo mbane ngikhuluma la.
Ukhuluma noBaba Mahlahla.
Yebo mnumzana Mahlahla ke ungasi uvela ngapha ekhaya njalo kathesi ungaphi?
Ekhaya ngivela eLwagwelo. Okakathesi ngiseGoli.
Ungasinika umbono wakho ngodaba olusegudwini.
Umbono wami engawuphawula ukuthi ilizwe lethu lihlaselwe i-cancer eyi-ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF isibone kufanele ukuthi elizweni kungabi nestability, number 1. Isibone kufanele ukuthi ezibhedlela abazali bethu bagule kungabi lemithi, number 2. Isibone kufanele ukuthi imigwaqo yethu ingasebenzi
ngiyakuzwa sibili mnumzana Mahlahla, kodwa ungatsho ukuthi kulani lokwenza lokhu lo daba olusegudwini?
Lokhu kunokwenza ngokuthi iZANU-PF iprioritize ukwenza by-elections over developing our country. Asisoze sithule sibone uChabangu simbone ngoChabangu enjalo. There is a ZANU-PF pressure behind uChabangu.
Yebo ke kuyezwakala ngiyabengathandi nje ukuthi nguqume khonapho, but we got your point. Thank you very much, so that we can have our guest respond. Before you can answer the listener, Mr. Pukeni, we saw that you have filtered some candidates who will contest in the oncoming by-elections. Has the campaign started, and how are the people receiving those candidates in the communities?
Okay. Ngithanda ukuthi u-SG wathi ekhuluma ngale ndaba kuyona le interview engikhulume ngayo owayenza lo baba uChisa Sibanda. Wathi yena kudinga ukuthi adinga ama-candidates uzofaka yena lawo ayenzani ayevele ekhona ayevele ekhutshiwe ngalobo budoda ayebukhulumile. Of course sibonile ukuthi ngicabanga ama-ward angu-3 bahlulekile ukufaka kuzwisa ubuhlungu ngoba phela sokuchaza ukuthi uward 1 kakhulu uward 1 ngingayimazi inkinga yakho uward 1 njengoba bengasafakanga ke lo kuthiwa kumele kanjeni bambisela ke yena uShepherd izami la futhi fake umuntu esishonini sokuthi chaza ukuthi ke whatever is going to happen kuward 1 siyabuyela back kuyena le nkinga yesilayo okwe-campaign angazi ngoba besiqalile i-report yengizoyithola lekhanyana ngicabanga kusasa also kuyiba kumhlanga ukuthi office labo selihambe awufale enza kanjani ngicabanga hambe besakhala kwe-nomination court. Umlaleli angicabanga ukuthi uyayilandelela into ye-TPC ayizwe kahle. Namhlanje umhlonishwa ubaba uSiziba uthe yena into ye-TPC yinto yama-leaders e-TPC amakhulu alwayo. Wathi ucela ukuthi babe ngamadoda enough baphumele egcekeni. Selengayigcoba izani ngoba phela kulamuntu wezani lana ozoyikhulumela ukuthi impela engayigcoba-ke ligcoba ingekho angitshole ejaji la lithi bathi hayi phela mangabe lifuna kukhulunywa ngezani ngabe limbizile la sokuthi ngabe limbizile phela umhlonishwa ubaba uGawule la wabakhona walikhulumela iqembu lakhe. Kodwa engikwaziyo mina ukuthi baba uChabangu zisasuka before i-election isenzeka wakhala ngendaba yokuthi kanti why kuthatha abantu bezindawo ezonikezwa izikhundla lapho kobulawayo besebenza kanzima kanti kuthi ezokuphelile mayetsho ukuthi wayekhulumisana nomongameli andini umongameli wenza that public statement esokuthi bawungekho happy ngendlela engizana ngakhona iphathwa
siyakuzwa kodwa senza kubamba umlomo lapha sinike unkosazana Mlilo imzuzo emlutshwana kakhulu ukuthi asitshele ukuthi sebeqalisile yini ukukhankasa njalo babonane ngokhetho luzayo.
Ukukhankasa siyaqalisa kathesi kobulawayo lapha kodwa nje nxa sizihambela sinapha nje
isikhathi kasisavumi njalo ukuthi siqhubeke sisonke. Would like to thank our guest Sithabile Mlilo and Khalipani Pukeni, and we've come to the end of our show. Join us again tomorrow. Signing off is Sithandekile Mhlanga here in Washington.